Today you can prepare for a lovely meal of beef short ribs, and we got some Brussels sprouts that are caramelized, and we've got macaroni and cheese, and then for dessert we've got cookie sandwiches with ice cream in the middle.
Don't forget the tomato gazpacho.
That one too. So now we are mixing the ginger to add into the short rib sauce. So, yep. So yeah, we need 2 tablespoons of this, and then we will be adding it into the sauce. Alright, now we're going to mix all the components of the sauce together. This is the sauce for the short ribs. So we started out with the dry stuff, which is our brown sugar, and now we're going to go ahead and add all the liquids. So I am adding the rice oil, the rice vinegar, and the sesame oil. And then we have half of a cup of soy sauce. And we're going to add garlic. And our ginger, freshly ground. And then half a teaspoon of red pepper flakes. So you just go ahead and stir it on up, and then move on to the next step. Alright, we're now going to take our short ribs and put them into our crock pot.
Nice and crappy.
Now that we have those in there, we can take our freshly made sauce. Pour it in. We throw on the lid. And you let that sit for 6 hours on high. So now we're moving on to the cookies for our dessert. So right now we have to add 2 sticks of butter and granulated sugar and brown sugar, and we're just gonna cream that in the mixer for a little bit. Light and fluffy. So now we have to slowly add the vanilla and the eggs into this divine mixture. I know. Get that nice and good. And then we'll add 1 egg first. Let that get in there for a little bit. And then we'll have the second one.
You want to be careful not to overmix in this situation.
So now we're mixing together all the dry ingredients. So the flour, baking soda, and the salt. And now we're going to have to stir this. We'll whisk this together with a fork.
I believe you're fork sifting.
That's what I said, whisking together with a fork.
Fork sifting.
And once we get all that combined evenly, going to go to the mixer, put it on low speed, and just slowly add this. So now we will be folding in the chocolate chips to our cookie dough before we set it in the fridge to set for however long we need it to. Now we are putting our cookie dough in the refrigerator to set for at least 30 minutes. It'll probably be a couple hours before we get around to actually baking them, but that's where they'll be. By cookie dough. Alright, we are now making the Hughes Southern mac and cheese. We're going to start off by cutting up the leeks into 1/2-inch rounds. That's about 1/2 inch. We need about a cup of these. I think that'll do the ticket. So we need 1 cup of warm milk. All right. Perfect.
Now Rob is cornering the cheese.
Go with this side. Nope. I like this side. How much does it say again?
Yeah.
How much does it say? It's like a quarter of a
2
cup,
ounces.
right? Like a quarter of a cup.
Yeah. 1/2 cup.
Half cup.
1/2 cup.
Get a little bit more. Now that's attractive. Bam! You always using Happy Hut for a heavy cream? Bam! Uh-oh. Bam! How many times was it right? You get points off for that. And now we're cooking up the little bits of bacon. It's burning me, but that's okay. Glad you could join us. We're gonna need a 1/2 teaspoon of dried mustard. Perfect. Now to dry it. Alright, now that we have dried our mustard, it's nice and fine. So we're going to go ahead and put it into the cup and get it to the recipe. Alright, now we're going to pour the leeks into the boiling water in a Dutch oven. Put the roof on. Now we need a thing of ice water. 646. Just show the box has hand on So we just poured the macaroni and cheese into the boiling water. Now we're gonna stir it up. Gonna stir it up. Make sure it doesn't stick. We want to cook these till they're al dente, which actually means to the tooth. Alright, so now we're going to take the leeks out of the Dutch oven. We're going to throw them in some water to shock them. Using a slotted spoon to do this. Don't worry about boiling water on the floor. It's all part of the experience. Brilliant. So now we're draining the pasta noodles in a colander, and they'll complete their cooking process in there.
Wait, we forgot to do something, but what was it? Oh, we're supposed to do
And over here at the oven, I'm gonna go ahead and put some butter into a skillet just for fun. I'm gonna slide that around a bit.
Work yourself into the cast iron.
Alright, now we're gonna add flour into our mixture. We're gonna whisk that in constantly for 2 minutes. Don't get the video of this. I'm going to pour the milk into our butter flour mix. Just slow increments at a time. Alright, now we're gonna go ahead and throw the medley of spices into our little creation here. We went first with some dry mustard. Now we're going with some red pepper. Now we're gonna go 2 turns of black pepper, and then we're gonna go with a little bit of salt. And now we're gonna take half a cup of cheddar cheese. We're gonna whisk that together. Woo. So now we're going to add pasta to the sauce that we have right now. Alright, so you join us when we are putting in the rest of our leeks, and the rest of the bacon bits, as you can see, have been dispersed throughout. Now that we've done that, we preheat our oven at 375. We're gonna throw this in there. 35 minutes. Oh god. Alright, we're now going to make our gazpacho. We start out with our 1 English cucumber. We go ahead and cut in half lengthwise, like so. And then we go and chunk it up. So now we're going to cut the pepper in half and take out the seeds. Now we're pouring in some Bloody Mary mix. We're going to fill this up to 2 cups. Now we are combining our ingredients for the first round of the gazpacho. We're going to puree it so it's smooth. Now we just
Now we just pour the puree into a bowl and the blade, good measure. Move on to the next step. Alright, and step 2 is pretty much the same as step 1, except we're just going to go until largely chopped and there's no tomato juice.
Now we are adding the rest of the Bloody Mary mix into the large pureed bowl. We're adding a half cup of red wine vinegar now. Then we add a half a cup of extra virgin olive oil.
Alright, now we're going to start on our Brussels sprouts. We start out with a large saucepan, which we pour 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil into. And mix that up a bit. And then we're going to go ahead and take 4 ounces of pancetta. Pump it in. Stir that a little bit.
So now we have to put the pancetta onto the paper towel to let it drain from all of the olive oil. Beautiful.
What? That's how my sister cuts them.
Alright, now we're going to add all of the Brussels sprouts we cut up into the oil from the pancetta. Now we add a teaspoon of salt, teaspoon of pepper, good measure. And we're just going to mix it up a little bit.
So now we're going to put the cookie dough that we took out of the fridge onto a cookie sheet. It's parchment paper, not wax, so it doesn't melt. And we want to make sure we've got enough room away from the edges and away from each other cookie so they don't melt together.
Now we're going to add 1 3/4 cups of chicken broth onto our Brussels sprouts.
Okay, we are now putting our cookies in at 350 degrees. We're going to check them in 10 minutes, see how they're doing, and see if we can take them out. Perfect.
Alright, now we're going to add our pancetta from earlier into our Brussels sprouts. We're going to stir it a little bit. Turn off the heat and let that sit. So the cookies are done now, and it looks like at least the bottom rack is. So we'll take those out now. And the top ones will give another minute. Alright, so we took the short ribs out and put them onto a platter. We took all the excess liquid, combined it with a little water and cornstarch, and put it into a saucepan, which we are boiling on high. And this sauce will later be added back onto the short ribs.
You got the other batch of cookies out, and now those are ready for dessert.
Alright, now our sauce is all thickened up, so we're going to go ahead and take that off the heat. Just move it back here. So now we're starting the process of plating, and we have some coleslaw to go below the short ribs. This is an extra filler. And we'll catch some of the sauce from the short ribs. Just going ahead and doing that. Just take a little bit, plop it on top.
Okay, now we're going to pour the gazpacho into these little shot glass thingies. Okay, so now we're going to plate the macaroni and cheese that has been sitting in the oven, keeping it warm. Alright, so now the final part of the main plate is going to be our Brussels sprouts. Just take a little bit of that, make sure I get some pancetta. Go ahead, put it on the plate. Alright, so this is our finished product. We have our gazpacho, the Brussels sprouts, macaroni and cheese, and our short ribs served over some coleslaw. How'd you like the meal we made you tonight?
It was very good. Enjoyed the gazpacho soup to start the meal, and the short ribs and the Brussels sprouts were very tasty, along with the mac and cheese. Very good.
I thought it was really delicious. You boys did a great job picking your recipes and preparing the dinner for us. I especially love the short ribs on the coleslaw, but that was amazing. The Brussels sprouts were quite tasty, so home run all the way around. Liked everything.
You ready?
Yep.
I thought the meal was excellent. I've never had gazpacho before, and I thought it was really good, and I would love to have it again. I like the short ribs on top of the coleslaw. I thought that was a really good combination. All in all, I thought it was an excellent meal, and I'm looking forward to you guys helping out in the kitchen.
No, it's very good. I did. I like the short ribs. I like the coleslaw. I did like the gazpacho was very delicious, and I like this Brussels sprouts. I'm not a big Brussels sprout fan, but I enjoyed those, and I ate a lot of them. I enjoyed the entire meal.